Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going through the Hawthorn Hawks versus Western Bulldogs pre-season game held down in Launceston, and how a lot of people's roles will change with some niggles and injuries, and how a lot of players played out and we got some new faces, maybe a little bit of Sam Davidson, who will probably be F7 for most people now after that performance, but just talk through how it swings and roundabouts with his position, etc. But anyway, let's just jump into this video here. So as you can see, all the scores are up here from the AFL app, etc. and the time on ground, which we'll walk through as well. So Libba 138, yeah, he was amazing. It's just there's going to be no one around him for the first little bit. Bont will be an interesting one. I think he'll get up. But yeah, I just don't think you can go Libba because of the age factor simply, and I feel like he's going to break down. He's like one concussion away from retirement at this point. So yeah, I just don't think you can go Libba in that case. Warble 116, he was absolutely amazing. I just don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to consistently score well enough. I think he'll be in the 90 area, but that's about it for him. So that's why I wouldn't be touching him. Sicily as well, he scored really, really well and is an interesting case. I just wonder with the Hawks whether he will play forward or not. We saw him get swung forward, and whether that will turn into something even more so the case maybe later on in the year and stuff like that. So you just cannot trust it. I don't feel like you can't trust him as a starting option, to be honest with you. And they also have the early buy as well. D'Ambrosio, he did his thing. He was absolutely amazing, 107. So he's pretty good on the wing, but he's shown as well what I'm about to talk with Davidson about, that yeah, these guys, they can score well in one half and then just be non-existent in the other. I mean, Davidson, if you look at it, the first half he scored 74, had 22 touches. Second half he had 7 touches. So that's exactly what it is. So the wingers, Davidson is obviously going to average 100. He's probably still going to average in that 65 to 75 region, maybe a little bit less, etc. So he's still a really good forward option in that F7 role. I just wouldn't be trying to push him onto the field, because we know that wingers can get caught out in dead spots and stuff like that, and we saw it in the second half. In that he went a large portion of the second half there with basically not touching the ball. He, I think, had about 18 points in a quarter and a half, maybe even close to full time, and then in the last little bit he had a 10-point burst there. So yeah, I'm not too keen on trying to get him onto the field, to be honest with you. I'm more keen on just having his cash in there. But also I need to say that it's very likely that we're going to get a winger from one of GWS, Sydney, Kako as well involved in that. One of those small forward wingers that's going to put up a 70 in opening round, and they're just going to be far more valuable in fantasy, because you're hoping Davidson goes 70 plus, whereas you're going to have that baked in score into one of the opening round guys that you can easily get that cash gen to start. Because like I said, with if we just go to DFS quickly and I show you what I'm meaning behind this fantasy price projector, and we just go to a 230k player, it doesn't matter about position or anything. Let's just scroll it way down here, and then we just go 70 here. I know that they're going to be very up and down, but you're already getting 41k. You're going to jump up 67k if they do another 70, compared to someone else on round 1 like a Davidson, who will be only at the 41k cash gen. So if you get that 70 baked in, it's going to be so critical, because you're jumping up, instead of 41k, you're jumping up 108k, and then suddenly you get this 76k rise, whereas the others are getting 67. So suddenly the player's already 414k, let's just give an example there, whereas the player that you have, whereas Davidson might be 338k, you've already bridged 80k there, pretty much. You've already bridged that gap there of the 76k per se. And Davidson could also fail. So that's why I feel like it's just way more valuable, because say we know it's 338k and 271k. Say this is then a 40. It's still 313k, whereas the 70 from Davidson, and I'm going to just show this here. Look at this. So you're still up 16k from someone doing a 70 and a 40 compared to someone doing 100 and then you can just swap to him, because that cash gen will probably be ruined by then if we just go another 50 scorer. That cash gen 44k compared to say a 50k here, let's a 50 there. You're already ruining the cash gen from that 40, so you could just swap to him. So it's just, you just get almost the best case scenario of being able to get the cash gen early, get ahead by like 16k even if they go 100, which is very unlikely, and then you can just jump to them if they do. Worst case scenario, like your opening round guy fails in round 1 and the Sam Davidson jumps off. So that's why it's so critical to jump on these high scoring rookies in round that have opening round, because their cash gen just goes so quickly. English 99, Fraser 96. English is definitely an option. I just wish, and I put this in multiple group chats and stuff like that, I just wish Sherry's ownership wasn't 53% or whatever it is at the time. It's slowly going down, but for me to really go against him, I feel like it's got to be like 30% ownership, not half the comp. But yeah, English looked really good. Fraser, Norton, Amon, Battle. None of these guys really enticed me too much. I saw Fraser in a couple teams and I'm just like, Bailey Dale's a push for round 2 if I'm believing that's right in saying. So Fraser's not going to have enough time to generate cash. Riley Sanders, just nothing. It's sort of just that in-between score and that role, and he didn't really capitalise and everything. I did like how he got the 8 tackles and wasn't really high on the marks, but would have liked, even if it was just another 5 or so kicks instead of handballs, that gets him up to an 89. It looks probably a little bit better. So yeah, just it's a score that we're waiting on Bailey Smith to respond in round 0. Harm, Scrimshaw, Ginnivan. If I'm just skipping over guys here, it's not because I missed them. It's more so that I just sort of, they're not value, I don't think. Cleary 79, this was interesting, but I have a feeling this is very dependent on Bailey Dale. And yeah, he's priced at I think 33 or maybe 32. So if he does that early, he could be that D5 option there. But yeah, I just don't know if he holds his spot in the side per se. But he did look really good when he was playing. Kennedy 78, I think it was, I forget what role he was necessarily playing, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't exclusively on ball, if I remember correctly. But I might have missed the exact stats for this, so let's see if I can bring it up. AFL, Enigma's going to have them, isn't he? There we go. Let's just try and find these stats here. CBAs. Okay, let's get back to the Warple. Okay. CBA's 3/4 time. CBA's full time for Western Bulldogs. English, Sanders both on 20. Harm 17. Liberatore 16 and Kennedy 14. So we did spend a fair chunk of them in there. But yeah, it is what it is. Does he have the final of the Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, etc.? I don't know how many CBAs they would have had, but I don't think they had too many. It would have been 24 if that if they didn't kick a goal on the siren. So 14 out of 24 is still a good 55% so that's pretty good there for the likes of Kennedy. So it actually is an all right role. But then again, Bont wasn't there. So if you take Bont out of the equation, if you include Bont in the equation, I should say, that probably is going to dip. Meek, Newcomb. Meek looked all right, sat basically the last quarter. Jai Newcomb basically played 2.5 quarters. Dylan Moore is showing exactly why we don't get these small forwards that scored really well in the previous year, because they genuinely find it hard to increase value. They're more of a play at the end of the year. McDonald, Will Day, 77%. Probably going to stay clear unless he goes wild in round 0. Just don't really see there being too much potential upside in fantasy. He's just an efficient user of the ball, impact per possession type of player. Lob, McNeil, Williams, Nash, McKenzie, McGuinness, Frost, Gallagher, Reddle, O'Donnell. No one else here really valuable, to be honest with you. Josh Dolan, 40 is all right for a rookie, but not outstanding. And then Vandermeer, Artie Jones, Croft. I'm trying to look both across at the fantasy points scored and then the TOG, just to see if it was a low TOG game. And then you obviously have Bont, 5 points in 9 minutes, and he just had, was it calf awareness, I think. So it was, I think, a tight calf or whatever. And they say that he should be fine for round 1, which will be good. It could also hamper down the role of Sanders and Kennedy there, so that could be a little bit annoying. We do need to watch the injury list for the Dogs, as they do have quite a lot of injuries there in and around their squad, so that'll be a big watch over the coming couple of weeks. But they still have like 15-16 days till their next game, so they'll probably get some guys back, comparative to the Hawks, who won't get anyone, if they are injured from this game, probably won't get anyone back in time for their opening game on the Friday night next week, I believe. So yeah, that's that for this recap. Probably a little bit of a smaller recap, as there wasn't too much to go through. We sort of, other than Davidson's score, and we know wingers are very volatile, Tim English looked all right, but it's hard to go against Cherry, and TDK's role is open. And then, yeah, Fraser is just a lot of watch on the halfbacks and the halfback makeup, as well as the mid makeup for the likes of the Western Bulldogs. But unfortunately for us, we don't get a cheap look in at them, which would have been a lot more helpful, handy, I guess. So it is what it is. But anyway, that is the video there going through the Hawthorn Hawks versus Western Bulldogs game. If you guys did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you are listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.